Hey everybody, Lead Farmer 73 here. And if you have the extended fuel pump by GenMax, and it's another company that makes it too, and they're identical, they just have two different names. If you have this pump, I want to give you a FYI to be careful. There's a float inside here. You see that? That little white thing right here is the float. That's what tells the pump to come on or shut off. Let me try to do that for you. When it's down, it tells it to shut off. When it's up, it tells it to cut on. I mean, vice versa, you understand? Okay, this pump, when you purchase this float sticks on that rod that is riding up and down. If that float sticks, your pump will continue to run and pump all of your fuel onto the ground. There's a rubber seal inside of here that does not prevent the fuel from escaping from around the rim of whatever gas generator you have this attached to. There is no safety device to shut this off if it starts running too long. So my float was stuck in the on position, and I wasted, I think, about 3 gallons of fuel onto the ground because this never stopped pumping, and all of the fuel was just shooting out of here from between this and the top of my generator, just shooting out. I had to manually hit the button to shut this off. So once I observed it, I realized that this float was stuck. When I first purchased this, it was a little sticky, and I kind of felt like, you know, this must have a lot of air in it, but to be able to move this up and down the rod properly. And so I took a screwdriver and I kind of pushed it up there a little bit to see if, you know, it would move or not, and it didn't. So I used it, it worked real good a couple times, but then when it didn't work, could have been critical, because if I would have had anything that could have caused a spark while that was pumping gas onto the ground, that could have been critical. So what I did was, there's a little clip ring in here. That ring, I took that off and removed this float all the way out. And inside of the middle of this white float, there, it's almost like the factory didn't sand it out good enough, and so there was like a lot of plastic barbs or something inside of there that would keep it hung up on this black rod right here. So it would go so far and then stop. And every blue moon it would move, but for the most part, the little frayed pieces off of this was touching onto that, causing friction and making it stop. So all I did was take a little bit of fine sandpaper, roll it up in a tube, and run it inside of this float. And once I did that, a very fine grit sandpaper. Once I did that a few times and knocked those barbs off and smoothed it out a little bit, now you can see it flows freely, and I'm not even turning it all the way up and down. As long as that can make it to the bottom and the top, we doing good. See that? With no effort. So I just wanted to put this out here. Be careful if you purchase this. This is not a free-flowing gravity feed like I used to have. This one is powered, and the EcoFlow River 2 is running it. So there is nothing to cut that off. So please be careful and make sure that your float can move that freely. And if GenMax and the other company is listening to this video, please put some kind of safety device on here where if it runs probably, I don't know, say 5 minutes without shutting off, it should have some kind of shut off that we can set, or some kind of shut off that will shut this thing off if it's still running, knowing good and well it should have been cut off a long time ago. It has to be some other safety feature in line with this, because this is gasoline and this will destroy somebody. This is bad. Okay, great product, but you have to put a safety device on there, some safety feature, just in case that float hangs up on, who knows, dirty fuel or anything else. Anything crud could be in the tank. You have to make something so this thing just doesn't keep on pumping fuel out. And this ring, that rubber O-ring on the inside of there, is trash, because that should have prevented anything from happening. That shouldn't have let anything leak out of that generator. Now, I had this hooked to the EcoFlow dual fuel smart generator, the first version. That's what I had this hooked to. So listen, and it gave a bunch of different kind of generators that it could be used on. This should not have happened. All right. So if you purchase this, and this is very expensive, by the way, it's over $100. If you purchase this, be careful. Buyer beware. Make sure that float, if you purchase it, now again, great product because it works. But if you purchase this, you make sure and you inspect this and make sure that float rides that freely on that barb, or you might be in some trouble. Okay. So with that being said, as of now, I'm not trusting this fully until it runs at least 6 months with no hiccups. But right now, I've been running it now for about 3 weeks or so with no hiccups until now. That is no excuse for that. Okay. So now that I did that, I'm gonna give it 6 months, and after that, I'm gonna talk to the company. Now that we got it working good, and I'm kind of confident, remove my lid from my generator, and now I'm going to take the filter out, because we don't need that, because this has a built-in filter in it. Put that down and screw that right on top of my EcoFlow dual fuel generator, like so. And now take the plug that's plugged up to my EcoFlow river, plug it in, and screw that in. If you can see, that's a little screw to keep that on there so you don't kick it out. And now this is the hose with the priming bulb coming from my 5-gallon Scepter tank. And all I do is just connect that on here like this till it clicks. That is a fuel gauge. You can actually see the fuel coming through when this is running, and it really does work. I don't have to prime mine because my tank is full of fuel. Plus, I can feel this full of fuel right now. It's already pre-primed. If you didn't pre-prime it and you just bought this, you want to prime this first till you start feeling gas run through it. Now, I'm going to cut this on and test it. That green light should come on. Oh, let's cut the generator on first. Okay. Green light is on. So every time that float goes down, it starts pumping fuel in here. And yes, it does work. Okay. So good thing the EcoFlow the EcoFlow dual fuel generator, good thing it had this little slit so the fuel could escape through here. It's run down through here and come out the side. And that's what it did. It all my fuel ran down the side of here. Some of it accumulated on here. You see my label is buckled up now because of that. So I'm gonna keep my eye on it and make sure everything is working properly before I go anywhere and leave it by itself. Please, buyer beware. Lair Farm 73, I love you, and I'm out. Great product, but they need to work out a few kinks. All right, peace.